So today we're going to talk about the real truth about money. And it's probably not what you think. It's not about winning the lottery or landing some huge promotion. It's actually about the simple, kind of boring, but incredibly effective habits that build wealth that actually lasts. Let's dive in.
We all have this dream, right? That if we could just get that one big salary bump, all our money problems would just disappear. But our source for this explainer, who's got 15 years of banking experience, tells a totally different story. It turns out a lot of people with massive incomes are just as broke as anyone else, sometimes even more so. See, the problem isn't really the amount of money coming in. It's the habits that are letting it all flow right back out.
And this is really the core idea we're digging into. Just forget all those get-rich-quit schemes. We're going to focus on the quiet, consistent actions that actually move the needle. According to our source, these are the habits that can save you way more money than a massive raise ever could.
First up, we've got to understand that a lot of the time, we're actually fighting our own brains. Seriously, our brains are hardwired for that instant gratification, which, let's be honest, can just wreck our finances. So let's look at a few habits designed to outsmart those ancient impulses.
Okay, here's a beautifully simple one to start with. For anything you want but don't really need, the rule is simple. You can totally have it, but you have to wait 2 days. This little delay is such a powerful weapon against those one-click impulse buys. So why does it work so well?
Well, the science behind this is this wild concept called hyperbolic discounting. All it means is that your brain gets a bigger kick, a bigger buzz from the immediate reward of getting a new gadget right now than it does from the kind of abstract idea of being wealthy when you retire. That 48-hour rule, it's just a cooling off period. It gives your logical brain a chance to catch up with that first emotional rush.
And look, the process is super straightforward. You see it, you save it, and then you just wait. The source material says that, honestly, most of the time, that intense desire just fades away. You totally forget it's even in your cart, and bam, you've effortlessly saved money.
Next up, let's talk about that graveyard of kitchen gadgets and single-use items in the back of your closet. Come on, we've all been there, right? You buy that one thing, a spiralizer, a fancy pasta maker that you are convinced is going to change your life, and it just ends up collecting dust.
And yeah, it's not just you. It is so common. A huge 65% of people have experienced what we call gadget regret. So the trick is to ask yourself one question. How many different ways can I actually use this? If the answer is just one, it's probably not a smart buy. And this applies to everything. Clothes, tools, you name it. Versatility is the name of the game.
This last psychological habit is a real game changer. It's about making a simple shift, from being a passive consumer to an active creator. Think about it. When you're bored, what's the first thing you do? If your instinct is to grab your phone and start scrolling, you might be walking right into a spending trap.
Because when you're just endlessly scrolling, you're tapping right into something called social comparison theory. You're seeing these perfectly curated highlight reels of other people's lives, and your brain starts to think, hey, maybe the solution to my own problems is just one purchase away. Putting the phone down and actually creating something, writing, building, learning a new skill that replaces that expensive impulse with real, genuine fulfillment.
Okay, so we've tackled the brain. Now let's get practical and build a real playbook for your day-to-day spending. This whole section is about simple, easy rules for finding and plugging those little invisible holes where your money seems to disappear every single month.
I love this metaphor. Think of your income as water filling up a bucket. But if you've got all these little silent leaks like forgotten subscriptions or late fees, or just buying coffee every day, you're never going to feel full. The only way to find those leaks is to track where every single dollar is going. And look, it's not about judging yourself, it's just about being aware. Now, these next two habits might seem really small, but they follow that same unsexy but effective logic. Buying essentials like toothpaste or shampoo in bulk when they're on sale, that's a guaranteed win. And keeping your basics boring, like using a simple, effective skincare routine and actually finishing the bottle before you buy a new one, that prevents a cabinet full of half-used, wasted products. These tiny, boring wins can add up to thousands of dollars over time. Okay, this next one is, well, it's a pretty strong recommendation. Services like Klarna and Afterpay, they are everywhere now. But you have to see them for what they are. A massive wealth trap designed from the ground up to make you spend money you just don't have.
The source doesn't mince words on this one, and for good reason. These companies are not your friends. They are banking on you messing up, on you missing a payment, so they can hit you with insane interest rates, sometimes as high as 30%. The point here is crucial.
Stick to a debit card or cash. It keeps you in control and makes sure you're never, ever paying extra just for the privilege of buying something.
All right, let's zoom out. We've managed our brain, we've plugged the daily spending leaks, now it's time to build the actual machine that creates real, long-term wealth. These are the big picture habits, the ones that have the biggest impact of all.
Honestly, this slide is everything. The common path, the one most people are on, is you get your income, you pay all your expenses, and then you just hope there's something left to save at the end of the month. And there rarely is. The wealth path flips the entire script. You pay your future self first. The second your paycheck hits your account, an automated transfer sends a percentage straight to your savings or investments. It becomes the most important bill you have to pay.
Now this feels almost rebellious in our culture of constant upgrades. Instead of getting the new phone the second it comes out, just use your current one until it genuinely can't do its job anymore. This simple act of using your stuff for its entire lifespan is a direct assault on a very, very common financial problem.
And that problem is called lifestyle inflation. This is the trap where as your income goes up, your spending goes up right along with it. You get a raise, so you get a nicer car. You get a promotion, so you get a bigger apartment. This cycle is exactly why so many high earners have almost nothing to show for it. Letting things break is how you stop that slow creep.
And look, let's just run the numbers because this is where it gets staggering. A reliable $10,000 card gets you from point A to point B just as well as a flashy $35,000 one. But that $25,000 difference, if you invested it wisely, it could grow into $500,000 by the time you retire. The question is pretty simple. Are you buying a temporary symbol of status, or are you buying long-term freedom?
Which brings us to our final and maybe our most important point. All of these habits, all of this discipline, what is it all even for? I mean, it's not just about piling up money for the sake of it. This is the ultimate goal. This is the why. True wealth isn't really a number in your bank account. It's having the time and the resources to invest in your family, to invest in your health, and to have the freedom to choose how you spend your days. That's the real prize.
So I'll leave you with this final question from the source material. Every single financial choice you make is a vote for one of two things: a temporary appearance of status or the permanent reality of freedom. Which life are you building?